white, gun-owning men are the last defenders of real American values against urban progressives, environmentalists, and indigenous people. Not only is Taylor Sheridan a screenwriter, but he owns 2 mega ranches in Texas, and starts this discussion by complaining about how naive city folk don't understand where food comes from.
And then you come to these big urban centers where people do not understand where their food comes from.
Right.
I read an article, this is when I lived in LA as an actor, and there was some uproar. Some cheerleader had gone hunting and killed a deer or something. And there was this massive, people went nuts. One of them said that all hunters should be killed. How dare they go out and kill that animal? Why can't they just go get their food at the grocery store where it's made?
There's just one little problem with Taylor's rendition of this story. She wasn't hunting deer. She was hunting lions, zebras, and other animals that most people don't think we should kill. But the truth doesn't matter here. What matters is creating a narrative of persecution, a core fascist tactic where the dominant group positions itself as victimized by imaginary enemies. That being said, I do agree with Taylor and Joe that people have no idea where meat comes from. The average person rarely thinks about the animals they eat. And while I obviously disagree with hunting, I do think shooting a deer in the wild.
Yo, I would say 90% of people don't even make the literal connection to what they're actually putting in their mouth, right? 90% of people don't even make the connection, right? And that's why when you say, hey, you're not eating meat, you're eating flesh. That's a flesh of an animal. People kind of get cringe. They kind of like, oh, don't call it that. You're being extreme. No, you're being extreme. You are not even recognizing what you're actually consuming. They kind of keep the blinds closed because they don't want to know. I guarantee you, test this out. Get someone who is against veganism and get them to watch Earthlings. I remember watching Earthlings back in 2016. I couldn't even watch the whole movie, right? Get somebody to watch Earthlings. I guarantee you they turn it off and they don't want to watch it. Why? Because they don't want to know. They don't want to know. They don't want to see it.
Is more ethical than paying for animals to live on torture factories where they never see sunlight until the day they're forced onto a truck and taken to a slaughterhouse.
Really?
But most people don't hunt, and if they did, we'd run out of wild animals in a matter of months. This is the critical contradiction in Taylor and Joe's worldview. They promote an unscalable lifestyle while using it to criticize possible solutions like a plant-based food system.
I had conversations with people while they're eating meat saying I can never hunt. Like, I don't know how you do it. Like, what are you talking about? You're eating meat. You just hired a supermarket hitman.
Yeah,
like
you just exported the execution.
I find it interesting that Joe and Taylor frame buying meat as hiring a hitman or exporting the execution. They're using language that implies they do think animals are sentient individuals. The fascist mindset often acknowledges the suffering it causes, but reframes it as necessary, natural, and honorable.
And I'd come back to Texas and hunt.
This is like silly. We're talking about the call. You get a year of Stand Store.
Still ain't got that ad blocker yet.
Shoot 3 deer, and that's a year's worth.
I do want to make a point because people like this, people like Joe, people like this guy right here, they understand what they're doing. They understand that an animal is just another sentient being. They understand it. Don't think that they don't. They just don't want to give up that steak on their plate. That's all. That's the only thing. They understand that animals are sentient beings. They understand that animals want to live. This guy right here, he knows that a deer wants to live. Are you serious? This person right here, he's already made the connection. He made the connection. Now, 90% of people out there, they know what they're eating unconsciously, but they really haven't made the connection. That's why they won't watch Earthlings or Blackfish. They won't watch these documentaries. But this person in Joe Rogan, they understand. They know. They just don't want to give up that quote unquote taste. They don't want to give that up. That's the only reason that they're not. So it's kind of a cognitive dissonance. They know what they know they're causing harm. They know that they are killing unnecessarily. They already know it. It's not something that they haven't thought about. All right.
food.
Right.
Three animals for a year.
Taylor says you can kill 3 animals and live on them for a year, but the math doesn't add up. If you can get about 58 pounds of meat from 1 deer, and each pound has 750 calories, then 1 animal yields 41,000 calories, so you'd get 123,000 calories a year, which breaks down to 336 calories per day. That's certainly not enough to live on, especially if you eat a lot of meat. This disregard for factual accuracy is another fascist trait. What matters isn't truth, but the emotional resonance of the claim. The idea of a self-sufficient hunter living off the land has mythological power, so it doesn't matter if it's mathematically impossible. Throughout this conversation, Joe and Taylor continue to imply that people who live in cities don't understand the real world and are detached from nature.
But most people are just so disconnected from it and so connected to the urban world where no one's growing anything. Everything has to be brought in by trucks.
Never mind that cities offer more opportunities for employment and networking, and Joe and Taylor both spent decades in urban environments before building their rural empires. They eventually discuss hunting and bond over their willingness to dominate nature,
Have you ever eaten beaver?
No.
It's good.
sharing stories of the native animals they love to eat.
I've eaten a lot of feral hogs. Yeah.
That-
I shot
hey,
one at Tejon, turned it into sausage.
Did you?
It's good. Yeah.
Those things are a problem. I mean, they are.
They're a real problem out here.
Oh my gosh, and the destruction that they reap on the ecosystem. I mean, that's the reason the bobwhite quail population has just plummeted. Rattlesnakes have stopped rattling.
Because of the hogs? Wow.
They position hunting as noble because Taylor claims that wild hogs are a problem for quails and rattlesnakes. It is true that they've hurt quail populations, but there's no evidence that they damage rattlesnakes. The idea that rattlesnakes are evolving to stop rattling is a common myth from an NPR article. Taylor's inability to verify claims he sees on the internet will become more apparent throughout the rest of this conversation.
Watching the video, this video was any value to you whatsoever, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, if you are struggling on your fitness and health journey and you need help, I want you to click the link below right now, schedule a free consultation call with me, all right? Absolutely free, no strings attached. Also, if you just need some tips, join my free Facebook group for vegan beginners and people who just want to be around like-minded individuals, all right? So, till next time, fuel yourself, don't fool yourself. Talk soon.